Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Silas or Shiro RBJ, whichever one you would prefer. And welcome to another iteration of my brand new show, Bracket Watch, where we talk about everything competition in the world of fighting games and Overwatch. Today on the schedule, we have Tekken 8 Soup Stars Cup review. We are going to be going over the top 24 and we are going to be going over the top 8. Then after that, we are going to be talking about 2XKO. They just had a big patch that dropped today. I was playing it before on my stream, twitch.tv/SureRBJ. If you are watching this on YouTube, if you're catching a clip on TikTok, or wherever you are seeing this, stop by the stream. You get what I'm saying? We be playing, we be having fun, we be playing all types of fighting games, we be playing Overwatch, we be watching shit, we just be having a good time. So come on, slide about down the stream. But we are going to be talking about 2XKO. We're going to be talking about Ahri. We're going to be talking about the freestyle nerfs. We're going to be talking about the buffs that Sidekick and Juggernaut got. We're going to be talking about the assist changes. We're going to be talking about every single important or patch notes that I deem were important for the individual characters and kind of talk about my vision and things I disagree about the balance philosophy that the Riot devs have shown so far in 2XKO and talk about what I wish they would do so that it could be made into a game that I believe would be fun for the majority of the community. So we're going to be talking about 2XKO. Then after we talk about 2XKO, we are going to be previewing EWC Overwatch Championship Series Midseason Clash that's happening in Paris at EWC. We're going to be previewing that. We're going to be talking about the map pool that, spoiler alert, I think is fucking terrible. I think that map pool is doo doo. So we're going to be talking about that. Maps I wish we were seeing instead, possibly. We're going to be talking about the group stages, who I believe is going to be making out the groups in the upper bracket and in the lower bracket. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with our Tekken 8 bracket. The first thing I want to talk about in this Tekken 8 bracket is, of course, top 24. So in top 24, we had Knee actually getting knocked out really early. He has had a rough couple of tournaments for him. I believe he was knocked out in the first couple of in the third round right before top 48 at Evo, and here he gets knocked out in the first round of top 24. So he's had a little bit of rough kind of losing to Breadman, a Leroy knee matchup. He's just had a little rough going of it. I expect the GOAT to clap back. Whoa. I expect the GOAT to be able to click back. Maybe he's not clicking with this version of the game. There are a lot of strong characters in Tekken 8 right now. So I I expect Nee to find his groove back again. Then we have for the winner's side getting to top 8, we had Rangchu versus Mo'il. Mo'il actually took the dub with his Jack 8 against Rangchu's Fakaram 0-2. Then the next round, we had Book versus Lohai. Lohai also took that 2-0. That was a fuck. We had Book playing the Jin and then swapping over to the Brian. That's kind of interesting. Um, but we had no. I think it was opposite. Book was playing fuck. Lohai played Jin, and then swapped back over to the Brian. It was interesting. I have my notes. I'm getting confused by my notes right now. But we have Book versus Lohai. Lohai took that set 2-0. Then we have I Musician versus Jian Ding. Jian Ding won that set 2-0 with his Eddie against I Musician, who pulled out the Kuni Mitsu. I'm seeing a lot of players pulling out Kuni Mitsu, like we said during the Evo preview stream. That Kuni Mitsu, it seems like she's really hard to solo main. It feels like she's definitely like a character that has some really good matchups that you can kind of play on the side, but it's really difficult to find that solo main. So I'm musician picking up Kunimitsu to supplement his Yoshimitsu, which we all know is world class. Then on the next match, we have Mulgold versus Ulsan. Ulsan took that 2-1 over Mulgold's Fang. Will Gold still playing the Claudio, but decides which matchups depending on who he's playing, what character he's playing, what player he's playing. He decides to go for the Fang a lot. Um, so that is our winner side top eight. Then going back to seeing who goes into our loser side top eight, we see that CBM ended up beating Book in the lower side of the bracket. Jin on Jin, mirror Jin on Jin violence. CBM took that 2-0. We have Ranchu versus Crescent. Crescent took that 2-0. Crescent, a very young and up and coming young talent. We saw him end up getting, I believe, just outside of top 8 at Evo Japan at Evo. I believe he just got outside of top 8. If I'm not, yeah. He ended up making it and losing out in top 24 against Hanviz Tanvir. So he's had a pretty good showing over these past couple days, or these past couple tournaments, I should say. So he's a very young and promising player. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in store for him over the next couple months and the next couple tournaments. Then we have under that, we have all right. Then we have our next match, which is Mulgold versus Mongja. Mulgold ended up taking that 2-0, not with the Fang, not with the Fang, not with the Claudio, with the Alyssa. Alyssa versus Law, he took that 2-0. So maybe he has a pocket pick Alyssa too. Then we have iMusician down to losers versus Edge. Edge on the Horang, iMusician on the Kuni and Yoshi again, but Edge ends up taking that set 2-0 again. That brings us to our top 8 preview. I'm going to quickly run through the bracket because I really want to talk about our grand finals matchup. Mo Ill versus Lohai. Mo Ill able to get his get back against Lohai from Evo. Um, from Evo, losing to Lohai 3-0 in tops in loser side of top 8. But we have Moil versus Lohai, Jack A versus Brian. Moil ends up taking the dub, going to winners finals, where he ends up meeting John Ding. John Ding ends up beating Ulsan, Eddie versus Drag, 2-0 to send Ulsan and Lohai back in the loser side of the bracket. And winners finals, we have Moil versus John Ding, but we're gonna get right back to that. Then we have Ranchu versus CBM. That's Fuck versus Jin. Rangchu ends up beating CBM 2-1. Then we have Edge versus Mogold. Mogold ends up winning that match 0-2 against Edge's Huo. And then he brought out the Shaheen to fight against the Claudio. But Mogold's Claudio, too good, takes that 2-0. Back to the losers round 2, where we're going to be able to see Ulsan versus Rangchu. Ulsan ends up taking that game 2-1 over Rangchu's Fakaram. Very good placing for Rangchu, but Ulsan was the better of that day. Then we have Lohai versus Mogold. Lohai versus Mogold being able to take that game, take that set 2-1 against Lohai's Brian. Then down to loser semis, we have Ulsan versus Mogold 3-1. Back up to our winners finals match, which is Mo Il versus John Ding. Mo Il on a steamer this tournament, taking out John Ding 3-0 with his Jack 8, sending John Ding down to Lunar's finals, where he would end up losing to Ulsan's Lars and Dragonov to send our grand finals, which was Mo Il versus Ulsan. This was a very close set, 3-2, but I don't think people understand really how close this set really was. They were going back and forth. Round counts were always, each player was taking rounds off each other. I'm talking final moment, both in rage. It's just these small, tiny interactions that led to each other's victories. And Mo Il being able to take I think his first victory at a big tournament in this TWT season, 3-2 over Ulsan's Dragonov. And it was a great tournament. I ended up watching it after the live because they be streaming at like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. And that's just a little crazy for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I can be degenerate at times, but like even me, I'm not that degenerate. So that is our Tekken 8 recap for the week. Um, that's just our Tekken 8 recap. That's the only major tournament that I am aware of. I did not know why my camera changed, but that is the only major tournament for Tekken 8 that I am aware of. That is our Tekken 8 Stars recap. Holy shit, my voice keeps fucking cracking. It's pissing me off. This is going to be our Soup Stars Cup Tekken recap for the weekend. And that's gonna be done with the Tekken segment of the stream. Next, I do want to get over to, of course, the 2XKO. And the first thing I want to talk about with 2XKO is, of course, as y'all know, we just had a really big patch. Ahri got smoke, Freestyle got nerfed, Alawi got nerfed, Thresh got a slap on the wrist. Same thing I'd probably say with Alawi. We have some Senna buffs I want to get to. We're gonna be talking about Teemo not getting any goddamn changes. Actually, no, Teemo got buffed. I don't know how, in any way, shape, or form, we look at Teemo in any fashion. I don't know what Super Noon has on these 2XKO devs, what dirt he has, or if he's in their pockets. I have no idea. But the fact that Teemo has stayed away from the Nerf hammer in every single one of these patches is baffling to me. I think that character is insanely strong, and I think that character is going to be going up to being back to being in that top five. He was always in that top five contention, but I think he's going to be solidified in top five with his buffs. We also saw some Vi combo consistency buffs throughout the cast. Yasuo got consistent combo consistency buffs. Vi got combo consistency buffs. I believe Teemo got combo consistency buffs as well as Darius and Warwick. So it's though those characters didn't really change a lot. They are still strong. But I want to break down these system mechanic changes, these fuse mechanic changes, starting off with freestyle. Now, I'm just going to give a quick overview on what exactly was changed with these these changes. I'm just gonna give a quick overview of them because as you can see, it's a lot. But my opinion, my overall general opinion on the freestyle changes that they are a little over heavy-handed. I understand freestyle ran the game for this entire game's lifespan. It is a extremely strong fuse, but I don't think all the changes that they gave to freestyle. I think you're nerfing freestyle wrong. You're making the fuse just overall worse to play, not worse overall. They did nerf the fuse to where with along with the assist changes, which we are going to be getting to, but they did nerf the assist in ways that will make it better. But it's like overall, these nerfs just make the fuse worse to play and worse to feel. Like matches are so snowbally against people with using other fuses against freestyle because of the overall break meter gain change, where freestyle is gaining 35 reduced freestyle break meter. Like it's insane. I don't think that was necessary. I don't think this was necessary. Matches are so snowbally when you're using fuse. And if you're going to, and if we just had that nerf on table, it wouldn't be that crazy. But then remember how they made it so that in the last patch, they made it so that when your assist gets hit, but you don't tag to them, your assist was only on a 4-second cooldown. Now, no matter what you do, your assist is on a 6-second cooldown, along with these changes, which I believe are absolutely terrible. I don't like these changes. Freestyle tag no longer can be used immediately after break and immediately after push block. A, this just means that freestyle and tag, you literally can't use push block and freestyle anymore against certain characters. You are guaranteed to die, and your assist is guaranteed to get hit if you use push block. It is absolutely insane. insane. The buffs that the nerfs that they put on freestyle. And then not to mention that, I believe the worst change that they implemented, which was the freestyle tag window being reduced by 20 frames. It was 80 and now it's 60. Now, I understand the thought process behind the nerfing by 20 frames, the overall time frame of freestyle. It's to make it so that your block string pressure isn't that long. But while you also do that, you also take away a lot of really fun, really flexible, and really just cool combos that the community has made, that the community has been building. And we just got those taken away and neutered, probably. Now, granted, with combos, people are always going to find better ways to do combos or different ways to get max damage. So yeah, people are going to build new combos, but I don't know if this change and all of these changes put together really like is was really necessary. Or to ask me what my problems with freestyle is, IMO, it's spam tagging and that hitting the point character does not make the assist go away. I've had numerous times, and I'll probably put a clip up over it while I'm talking about this, but it is numerous times where you'll see somebody call an assist, you'll call Thresh back assist, you'll call Ahri back assist or something, and you'll get the point, you'll hit the point character, but because the assist is already active, you're still getting hit. I do not believe that should be how that works, especially if you aren't already in block stun. If I hit your point character before the assist hits me, the assist should just go away. That would be a phenomenal way of nerfing freestyle, but also keeping it healthy. I don't believe that the nerfs to push block and the nerfs to break, not being able to tag afterwards, are healthy changes, just because you're making defense and you're making freestyle such a snowbally kind of gameplay to where it's like if you're getting hits, it's really strong. But the second you use your burst and you're on the back end against your double down, especially against double down, and I'm sure against Juggernaut, once players kind of get more comfortable using it, it's going to feel so frustrating not having that extra break meter gain and also not having your assist because your assist just goes on a 6 second cooldown no matter what. So those are my thoughts on the freestyle changes. I would love to see either the assist cooldown change be reverted or we dial back the meter gain reduction for freestyle. Then again, this is day one of the patch, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But the overall balanced philosophy of we're going to make freestyle this a very snowbally fuse to where it's very feast or famine. um, I'm personally not with that direction. Um, a lot of characters rely on freestyle, aka Senna, in my opinion, Akali, in my opinion, Yasuo, in my opinion. They're heavily reliant on this fuse, and having this break meter and having their assist be on a 6 second cooldown, it's just really, it feels really, really bad. Next, I want to talk about Sidekick and Juggernaut. The Sidekick and Juggernaut fuse changes. Let me go up. It's over here. So, a quick overview of the rules of Juggernaut and Sidekick. Basically, TLDR, they buff their super meter gain. Juggernaut, you can spend 30% break meter to dash cancel your attacks. This is a crazy change, and I'm actually a big fan of this change because I think this change can allow a lot of characters to express and a lot of combos that could be gained with this. And having the caveat of, hey, if you do this, you're gonna lose that Fury meter, which is vitally, vitally important for Juggernaut. Having that Fury access and having that Fury damage is also really, really good. It's so having that caveat is like, hey, am I gonna spend 30% of this break meter to get this dash cancel to get this extra damage, or am I just gonna save Fury and kind of do it that way? And just to play Juggernaut the way that we've usually played Juggernaut. I like these juggernaut changes. I'm all for buffing underutilized assists and underutilized fuses. It's really, really good. Going down to our sidekick changes. Like I said, got the same super meter gain buff. The point character can now freely move during sidekick super. That's gonna lead to some crazy combos. I'm super excited to see those combos. To be honest, I think it's a really cool change. So it's gonna be a really fun change to see. Um, but for the most part, that's it. I think that these two things are like they're nice to have, but it's not really game or fuse changing or fuse breaking changes like when an assist is used as a combo starter, it no longer causes additional damage scaling. It's a nice change, and push block now pushes both opposing champions away when push blocking. Again, that is a nice change. There's another. Now we're gonna get to the assist and the dash changes. So with the assist changes, again, I think this is an overall net positive. Um, the frustration of, and I'm going to reiterate this, like I was talking about with the freestyle changes, the frustration of being hit by an assist after hitting the active character is still really frustrating. And I would love for that to be addressed at some point. Like that is the most annoying and frustrating thing playing this game is just bro, it feels really bad when you're the attacker because at the end of the day, you made the right call. You made the right read. But like it's just a really shitty thing that is still in the game. And I don't know how we've gone this far. We're gonna neuter freestyle as hard as we did, but that shit is still in the game. Then we have the dash changes and the throw tech changes. So the dash changes, not being able to dash cancel, get up attack in Fury or in general is a great change. I always thought that shit was really freaking stupid. Why are you allowed to use a defensive mechanic and then get offense on it? That was really, really, really strong and really, really dumb. They also changed the way to where backdash now buffers moves instead of just canceling the backdash. um After playing a little bit today, it's definitely a little noticeable how you don't just get to stop your momentum and enter your special moves anymore. You actually have to finish the backdash. So adding that little nuance of actually being mindful with your backdash is a mindful with your movement is overall a net positive for the game. It makes things a little more deliberate and less cheesy, if you will. um so I'm all for that changes. Then we have the throw tech changes where throw tech now essentially puts you back to neutral. Um, Especially in the corner, it pushes you a little farther back. I like this change a lot because a lot of the time you tech a throw in the corner last patch and nothing really happened. This patch, you kind of get to go back to neutral and you kind of get to figure out and play with, okay, what are my options against the character that is currently on screen? So that those changes, I welcome it. Those are good changes. Now, bug fixes, whatever. Not going to talk about that. Now, let's get to the big, big, big kind of changes that I I think everybody wants to talk about. And that's Ari. Ari is a very interesting character. Um, we're gonna look at this. We're gonna look at this, and I'm just gonna scroll down. Let me go. Let me switch the stream real quick. Let me switch the camera real quick so that y'all can see me. Hi, y'all can see me now. Okay. I'm just gonna scroll down. We're still not done. We're still not done. We're still not done. This is now we can actually see how many notes this is. Let's see. Let chat. Who's curious on how many notes this actually is? Like how many words this actually is? Who's curious with me? Who wants to see? Who wants to see? Who wants to see? Who wants to see? Hold on. Hold on. Let's find out. Word counter. Let's see. Let's see. Oops. 9,999 characters, 4 pages of notes on one character. This is one character, one singular character. And the reason why I bring this up is because that is 9,000 fucking words. I want to reiterate this. Hold on, let me zoom in so y'all can see this shit. 9,000 fucking characters of patch notes on one unit, one singular unit. And we still did not nerf the most annoying shit about this fucking character. How? 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 And I'm not saying this to like flame the devs or anything because nerfing Ahri, and I want to make this abundantly clear. Any Ahri nerfs at this point in time are good nerfs. The character was way too strong. She did way too much shit for way too little effort. But my biggest issue with Ahri, and I feel like this is the biggest issue with Ahri for a lot of intermediate to higher ranked players, is you just can't hit the bitch in neutral. You can't touch her in neutral. Between the S2 dashes, between the between down S1, between all her back dashes, being able to dash cancel every single one of her specials and special cancel her fucking specials. Like you can't touch this character in neutral. And you still can't. You still can't. I'm not gonna go over every single Ahri change because we'd be here for 24 fucking hours. And if these Ahri nerfs, they're good, but like you're not nerfing the problem with the character, which is how uninteractable she is in neutral and how rewarding all of her moves are and how low consequence everything that character does. Everything that character does now, granted. Let me not say everything that character does is still low consequence because I want to see how these nerfs play out. Like I said, it is still way too early to be making any assumptions on character strength. But I don't think Ahri is any weaker, and I don't think Ahri will be any weaker as long as she is still allowed to literally just move around in neutral in any way, shape, or form. Now, granted, I want to move up here because in the dev post, if y'all can't see, let me zoom in. Um, I believe where are we gonna see? As as an as an aerially focused champion, Ahri was controlling too much space on the ground. So they want this character to be aerial movement. We like that Ahri is an aerial champion. So we were gentle with our nerfs to air movement. We're not interested in directly nerfing her backwards movement, but we're nerfing the traits that made it obnoxious to approach. We've also reduced the distance traveled by Spear Rush slightly and the S1 adjustment. So if y'all don't know what the S1 adjustment is, I'm going to show you right now. This is a great, phenomenal video posted by Yoshi, one of the 2XKO devs, going through all of the Ahri changes. I will actually remember to link this in the whoa. My face is really big on the screen. Let me change that. Whoa, y'all do not need to see me that goddamn close up. Whoa. Either way, but she just has a video going over all the changes. Um, but this would, if you guys are wondering what the S1 changes are, it's going to be, I believe, I'm specifically looking for. Here we go. This is the clip I wanted to show. That right there. That is a phenomenal change to her block string pressure, along with the nerfs she's already had, like S1 into S1 Super, not jailing anymore. Like they have made really good changes to the character. I don't want to say they haven't, but like the and I understand they want to keep Ari's identity as this aerial combat character. I understand that. But like the character is still so difficult at into with it, at being able to interact with them in neutral. She's so hard to catch. And even though you nerf her damage, 400 damage per combo is still so much for the majority of the cast. Characters like Senna, characters like Akali, characters like Timo, characters on the lower end of the health pool who only have 800 or 900 HP. Like 400 damage is a lot of damage. Like that's a lot. That's like half your health bar. So it's they're changing. Any Ari nerfs are good Ari nerfs, but I genuinely feel like we need to see some type of restriction on this character with her aerial movement before this character will actually get brought down into some tiers. So to answer the question in the header right here, is Ari dead? No, I don't think that Ari is dead, but I do think that Ari players are going to have to play this character a little smartly because of the hitbox changes and the hitbox duration. The duration moves are out left out on field, and the as well as the recovery that have been added through the patches. I think you're gonna have to be more careful with how you are throwing out your moves in neutral because they are more susceptible to your 2H's, to your back dashes, and to some of the fastest characters that kind of can play around with your aerial movement. So no, I don't think Ari is dead. I just think that you're going to have to be playing her smarter. The next character I want to get in and talk about is Alawi. We're going to be going through these changes a lot. I'm going to be talking about the characters that I think going from most impactful changes to least impactful changes for right now. In the next character on the next impactful character list is Alawi. Thank God they finally nerfed this goddamn bullshit ass character. Oh my goodness, bro. If y'all do not know me, if y'all do not know me, y'all probably don't. Alawi is my most hated character in this game. Let me repeat this. Alawi, actually, my top 3 most hated characters in this fucking in this goddamn game are Alawi, Timo, and Thresh. Fuck all 3 of those goddamn characters. They're dumb, they're corny, and my characters that I play, I don't think fight these characters very well. So that also plays a factor. But fuck Alawi. That character has no goddamn weaknesses. She is the best Oki. She is the best post limit break Oki in the game. She still has that shit. I'm sorry. That shit is cheap as fuck. The Alawi player literally has to be dumb as shit and bad at the game to fuck up her S2 Super Oki. And her also she had 0 consequence buttons all the time. She has some of the best assists in the game. She has some of the best buttons in the game, some of the best hitbox in the game, some of the best damage in the game, some of the best Oki in the game. Like the character had no weaknesses. They nerfed her. I believe these nerfs are a good step in the right direction, but this character is still extremely broken, and I still don't think this character has a lot of weaknesses. Um, so some changes that I want to highlight here are with the Alawi changes are is primarily um where is it? It's this one right here. Down 2M, adding recovery frames. I really like this change, as well as medium and 2M kind of now getting their block stun reductions nerfed, so that you're just not like, these buttons are fucking huge. These buttons are huge, and these buttons have little to no recovery. So even if you did play your footsie game right and you made them with these buttons, you didn't do anything. It's the same thing with another very, very impactful change, which is prayer and stagnation. The low hitting, full full screen tracking, combo starting fucking tentacle move from this goddamn tentacle goddess fucking gooner ass character. They increased the fucking frames by 10. Beautiful change. This is the best change they did this entire goddamn patch. I love this. Now, if you get parry, or she whiffs this, you jump. They can't just throw this goddamn move out. I love when we add consequences to low consequence moves with high reward. That's always my kind of philosophy with when we're talking about characters. What is the risk reward for you picking this option? And what is the risk reward when we are talking about the defender being able to interact with said option? That's always what I want to be able to kind of make, not necessarily make that as even as possible, but just make sure the defender is not just inherently at a disadvantage. And that's where I just felt like when Alawi was on screen, if you had characters like Echo, if you had characters like Ahri, if you had characters like Jinx, like the or Vi, like you had like this character was so oppressive in every facet of the game. So I'm glad she got nerfed. Undeserved nerfs. Hold on. Where did I say? Tyson? Undeserved nerfs? You're bugging. That character is ridiculous. You gotta, and this is what I be talking about with this downplay shit. I want you to guys to understand, I'm going to be downplaying Akali and Senna till the moon comes home. I'm gonna be downplaying the fuck out of these characters. These are two mid-tier characters, bro. But we're not talking about Akali right now. But the character I do want to get into though, character I do want to get into though is my baby girl. They finally added my shorty, my my melanated queen, my melanated fine shit to the video game center. Now, we went over in our 2XKO preview where we talked about Senna and how she did not get any representation at Evo at all of what her problems are. And some of my problems were in base form, you literally had no reason to use down S1 in air or on the ground just because of how much goddamn recovery it is and actually how little of the screen it covers. In my opinion, one of the changes I would love was kind of get some Caitlyn esque, be able to, for me to minorly adjust if I'm charging down S1, for me to be able to minorly adjust the arc on the S1 just so I could cover more screen. Because the biggest issue is that that gunshot is so far up in the air that unless they are literally in range of being able to hit you with buttons or just run up and click a button, like you're just gonna die. You're just gonna die for using down S1. Her movement speed was terrible, and 2M into 5M never worked. That shit never worked. But 2M and the 5M was one of the most inconsistent block strings, and part of that is because of her lack of movement speed. Now, some changes. They buffed her movement speed. They buffed her backdash and walk. They buffed her walk speed in Wraith and base form. They improved her backdash speed slightly, but they also kept the caveat they did not buff it crazy. But it is definitely a noticeable change, basically saying that, hey, we still want Senna to be have a very slow base form and a fast wraith form, but the inconsistencies it led to some weaker gameplay, so or some really unfun gameplay loops. So they definitely wanted to change that, and they did. They buffed the they reduced the recovery frame on her light. So now Senna can actually pressure with her light now that her walk speed and her movement speed is better. I actually have light staggers like the rest of the fucking characters in the game. Her medium buttons have reduced knockback speed and additional hitbox and hit stun. So now my 5M and my 2M can consistently um link into each other. That is a phenomenal change. It just helps her block string Oki and her actual like block string pressure out so much. Because it was so guys, it was so inconsistent. It felt like even when you got your character in the corner, kept a character in the corner, bro, like you couldn't really get your corner pressure in. You just had to reset to neutral and play really reactionary, which you still kind of have to do just because of how slow Senna is. But at least now I have some sort of agency and maybe being able to keep my corner pressure a little up. They also buffed her special moves, which I'm all here for buffs. But I want to show y'all a change that I think is personally really, really good. They doubled down S1 damage. Now, doubling is kind of crazy. Like doubling it is kind of crazy, as well as adding 32 frames of air block stun, so that if you actually end up hitting charged Pierce with her, charged Pierce and your opponent is grounded, you actually get a mix up now. Like you actually can get a mix up if your character, if you could tag your character in, like you actually get a decent mix up now. And I think it's really cool. I like that they're buffing the character, but the biggest change, by far the biggest change, and the change that I like the most is this change right here. Let me zoom in so y'all can see it better. Grounded block stun of all uncharged piercing lights has now been increased by 5. What this means is that piercing light in the Wraith shift is now -4 on block. That means it is safe. That means it is safe. Bro, when I tell you this literally saved me in a match today and won me a match in ranked today when I was playing on stream, twitch.tv/SheroRBJ. Come say hi, come slide. We can get some games in. You get what I'm saying? We gonna be playing some Tekken. We play 2XL. You get what I'm saying? Come slide in the stream. You get what I'm saying? Link down in the description. Type shit, type shit. Anyways, right? But literally, this saved me the game. And bro, it's so much fun. The character is a lot more fun to play now. They also buffed the damage on her back assist. Um, so it's just a whole lot of great changes for Senna. I'm very happy as a Senna player. I think she's actually added into the game, and this should help her with some of her matchups because I believe personally that Senna had the worst matchup spread in the game, bar none, and it's not necessarily. Next character I want to talk about is Teemo. This section, it's not even that Teemo got a lot of changes. Oops, wrong overlay. It's not even the fact that Teemo got a lot of changes. My issue is the lack of changes this nigga got, and why, if you are, why the fuck are we buffing Teemo? Why are we? I'll give y'all money too. I'll match whatever the fuck he's nerf this dumb ass character. We gotta stop this. We have to stop this. No one asked for Teemo buffs. No one asked for Teemo buffs. And the only freaking nerf that he got was hurt box consistency so that my characters, that's the characters that he's going up against, aren't just whiffing shit because he's tiny. That's not a nerf. That's a bug fix. That's a fucking bug fix. You buff Teemo. You buff consistency. Why? Not a soul on planet Earth. Teemo players didn't even ask for Teemo buffs. We gotta stop nerfing fucking. We gotta stop just buffing characters for no goddamn reason. He did not need this. He's already a top 5 character in the game. He just not did not need to be buffed. And this just means, and all this means is downplaying really works. So I'm going to be downplaying Senna and Akali. They're mid-tier characters. They don't have the tools ready to fight some of the top tier characters that we're going to be talking about. Literally, this next top tier character that we're going to be talking about, like they just don't have the tools to fight them. So we need to buff them. We need to buff your characters. Just start downplaying. Downplaying works, y'all. Teemo buffs prove it. Now, all jokes aside, let's get into our next character, this terrorist. This absolute Benjamin Netanyahu ass fucking character. Now, I'm gonna chill on Thresh because I actually think this is one of the coolest characters in the game. No bullshit, but this character is fucking ridiculous. So, just a quick overview. I'm not a Thresh player, so I'm not gonna be talking about in detail what all of these changes are. Like, for example, the changes on Rake, the changes on Flay. I need to educate myself better on what Thresh's tools actually are. Before I give like a concrete opinion on how strong the character is. But just by reading these notes and seeing what was nerfed, um, yeah, they didn't nerf him enough. They didn't nerf him enough. I think Thresh, spoiler alert for when we end up making our way too early. Um, Season 2.5 tier list, whatever the fuck season we're in, 2.7, I guess. Um, Patch we're in right now. They did not nerf him enough. I like the reducing the hitbox size of J5H. That button is fucking ridiculous. And I still think it's ridiculous, but they also nerfed some of his combo consistency, so he actually has to choose routes smarter now. He just not everything combos into everything anymore. So they did nerf the character, but like his back assist, and I believe it's rake, which is the thing where he drags his weapon across the floor and it fucking anti-airs. The hitbox on that shit is still fucking insane. It's the best anti-air in the game, and no one's telling me otherwise. Like it fucking hits full screen. It brings you from full screen right into Thresh's face where it gets full combo. Thresh's damage is still insane. His assists are still top one in the game. I think he still has top one, probably the best collection of assists in the game. This character's fucking ridiculous. Um, I personally would love to see some more changes to Thresh, some more nerfs in the upcoming patch, but I don't want the character to be gutted. Um, I'm okay with him having long range normals and good Oki, or long range normals and good damage, but either his Oki or his damage has to go. One of the two. Those are just my opinions on actually, no, fuck that. Make his assists worse. Slow his assists down. That is probably like the biggest change I want. Make Thresh a kind of greedy point character and nerf his assists so that he's not getting 100% value no matter where you are on the screen. Because I think the really cool part about Thresh is Lantern and his on-field Oki, and him being able to teleport to Lantern, teleport his tagged character in. But being able to do that, Thresh is just, there's no real reason to do that just because Thresh's assists are so good that like you're fine with having Thresh off of the field. So in my opinion, the direction we need to go with Thresh is damage nerfs and assist nerfs. Those are my opinion. But I think Thresh is such a cool character, and I do not want to see this character bottom tier ever. The character's fucking sick. I hate him. I hate it, but he's one of those characters that like you hate that you love him. You hate that you love him. We're gonna speed through these last three characters because the other characters just did not get anything of note. Um, Vi got some combo consistency changes with her footwork electrics. They're now more consistent and easier. This helps out intermediate character, low beginner to intermediate characters. Whoa, below the intermediate players getting into the character. Those are just net positives. I think any changes that bring up the floor of the character without making them broken at a high tier are just net positives for the game. Especially when it comes to combo consistency, because no one wants a barrier to entry to beat combos in fighting games. It's not very fun. It's part of the reason why people don't like certain fighting games is because combos are too hard. Combo structure is too hard, and 2x scale isn't one of those games. So making combos, or 2x scale can be one of those games once you get up to the higher end and more advanced combos. But at the lower to intermediate, bro, let Vi players have good electric damage. I like it. I love the change. Also, oh, I forgot. I almost missed it. Her S1 super and her charged S1 now break armor. Um, I'm not a Vi player, and I also don't play characters with armor. So I don't know how substantial these actual how these changes are going to be for her, but like Vi's just getting stronger, which is fine. Next we have the dog, Warwick. I believe he just got more combo consistency. I mean, Warwick's kind of just in the game. Um, he's not very fun to fight. He doesn't seem very fun to play. Doesn't seem very strong. I think they're very worried about buffing these characters because I think Bloodlust is actually pretty strong. Right now, I think Bloodlust is pretty good, but like it's just he's just Warwick, so Warwick's gonna be Warwick. Um, then we have Yasuo. Yasuo also just got combo consistency buffs, which like the character doesn't need, or the character doesn't need combo consistency buffs, but like the main thing with Yasuo and the main problem with Yasuo that I've been hearing from Yasuo players is that his buttons still feel bad as fuck to whiff. Like these are like a bunch of nothing burger changes for the most part from what I'm hearing and what I'm talking about with my friends who play Yasuo. Like as long as his 5M works the way it does, and his 5H works the way it does, and you just like his buttons just feel really bad to whiff, the character's just not going to be very good, or the character's going to be very hard to make work. I still feel like Yasuo is better than people give him credit for, but he's also not very good. So, with that being said, let's make a way too early tier list for 2XKO chat. All right. So, let's make a way too goddamn early day one of patch tier list. And we're going to start this off. We're taking D tier out the game. Senna's been added to this game now. So we're gonna take D tier out. And let's just go in order. Let's just go in order. Senna, she's still top 3 in the game. I don't see how these nerfs change that. Um, she's still the best partner for half the cast. She's really good with the rest of the cast as a partner. Her assists are really good. Her damage is still really good. Her neutral is broken. Like the character's just still really good. Another character that I think honestly, ooh, hmm. You know what? I'm gonna put this character here for now, but he could very much move down. The fact that Echo received 0 changes is a net buff in and of itself. Echo is a character that goes under the radar because of his initial nerfs, but this character is still really, really strong. And especially with nerfs to like Ahri and nerfs to actually nah, let me put this dude back in A because I feel like he's also a freestyle merchant at some point in time, especially with his better teams like Alawi, like Echo Alawi and Echo Ahri and Echo Thresh and Echo Timo. He works with a lot of characters in the cast as well, but like maybe with the 3 style nurse, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'm gonna leave him A where he was. Yasuo, A tier character, not gonna argue. Nothing Burger Patch, he's essentially the same as he was last patch. Enough talking about Yasuo. Darius, only C tier, only one of 2 C tier characters in the game for me. Um, Darius just isn't good. He's RPS, the character. Bleed is pretty good, but like in the Juggernaut changes and the sidekick changes are pretty strong. So maybe once we see more changes with sidekick and Juggernaut and see these Darius players really flesh out. But like the character just has no way of opening you up. Once you learn Darius OSs and shit like that, and you're just patient and you know what to look for, this character's not scary at all. This character sucks. Like the character just sucks. From a foundation, the character just sucks. And the issue is that bleed is such a powerful mechanic with him, and they can't buff bleed, or this character just becomes extremely fucking toxic to play against. So I hope they don't buff Darius, to be honest. I hope he just stays here. He's a beginner-friendly character. He beats up on noob stompers, but the better you get at the game, the worse Darius gets, and I feel like that's where he should stay. Malawi, S tier. I don't care. They barely changed this character. She's still broke as fuck. S1 Super Oki, still dumb as fuck. Her assists are still dumb as fuck. Her fucking tag combos and shit are broken as fuck. She uses double down. They actually buffed her use of double down and her usage of 2x assist this patch. So she's able to use more fuses now. The character's dumb as fuck. She's top 3. I'm sorry. Braum, top 5. This is a character people need to talk more about. I think that low key, Braum is top 5. Actually, no, fuck that. I don't just think. Braum is top 5. Braum players just fucking suck. I'm gonna say that. Braum players suck. Somebody need to go into the lab. The Kill Sage was going into the lab a little bit with the character, but somebody need to go in the lab and really flesh out this character's gameplay and what this character wants. This character's fucking broken. This character's dumb as fuck. His trait unbreakable or whatever it's called is really dumb. Now they did nerf Braum. They took away his low projectile. He shouldn't have had that shit in the first place. Shield is one of the best assists and one of the best cooldowns in the game. It's a literal free hit honestly. Like it makes you fight the character completely different. And he's just so strong. He has a projectile. He still has the only projectile on in the game that does not go away on hit. Again, let me repeat that. He still has the only projectile in the game that does not go away on hit. Braum is broken. Braum is strong. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Jinx unchanged, and that is a good thing. I think Jinx is on the cusp of being a top 5 character in this game. Um her level 3 is a free round scam if Fury is not on the table. Her level 3 is stupid. Her her neutral is dumb. She gets combo off a throw no matter what. Um her tagging, she uses double down well. She uses freestyle well. She uses 2x assists well. She has the best assist in the game in Rocket. I think Rocket is the best assist in the game. Definitely the best projectile assist, but it's one of the best assists in the game. So Jinx is really strong, but we'll see. I'm not gonna call for nerfs either because I think Jinx also just has weaknesses, and I think Jinx needs very specific partners to kind of bring flesh out and really bring her game plan out. Um, and I also think that Jinx has some pretty good counterplay, so I'm not mad at her. To be fair, I'm not saying she needs to get her hit with a nerf hammer, but Jinx is strong. Vi, they're buffing the character. I think Vi has always been strong. Um, and they keep buffing her, so I'm gonna put her over Yasuo for now. Uh, not for any reason, just pure vibes. We're just gonna have her over Yasuo. Yasuo sucks. We can spread this propaganda. I'm fine with it. Just don't give him S2 overhead and overhead low mix up again, and we're good. But buff Yasuo, I'm with that. For our first iteration in the B rank, B tier character, we're gonna have Blitzcrank. They keep buffing this character, which is fine. I think Blitzcrank is pretty funny, but like he's a grappler and he has to, and a lot of his moves are just like parry bait. And the bad part about Blitz is that like he has to use the parry bait moves to get his offense started. Um, so it's kind of eh. Now I think this character has some really dumb fucking teams. Um, I think that we see like Blitz Braum be pretty strong. I see that we see Blitz Kate is pretty. I heard is pretty strong. Blitz Alawi I think might be pretty good. Alawi doesn't get maybe after the nurse now that Alawi just doesn't do everything in the fucking game. That team might not be as good, but I think Blitz definitely has some characters and has some things and has some partners in the game that you could definitely make some shit work, shake, and win a lot of games on Blitzcrank. I mean, shit, we had a juggernaut Blitzcrank hit challenger, so Blitz is still really strong. Next we have Timo. Uh, yeah, this character's top 5. I don't really think he ever left top 5, top 6. But yeah, he keeps evading nerfs. I don't know how he keeps evading nerfs. I don't know how he's getting away with this. This character needs to get nerfed. This character's dumb. Um, he has one of the most fucked up Oki situations in the game, an S2 super post limit break. Um, it is literally RPS, and the RPS is only in Timo's favor. He has some good neutral. Now, some caveats to Timo. I think Timo loses extremely bad against Thresh. Like, I actually think that matchup is unplayable. Timo Thresh is unplayable. But like, if you're playing Timo with Thresh, it's actually can be pretty fucking strong. But I think Timo into Thresh isn't good. But if Thresh is off the screen, Timo is good into Thresh. Does that make sense? If Thresh is off the screen, Timo deals with Thresh's assist pretty well, and he kind of doesn't have to interact with him. But the second Thresh comes out on screen and Timo's on screen, like that shit is just unplayable. But he's still broken as fuck. He's still top 5. So, yeah. Next character, Warwick. He's in B tier. I mean, he's not Darius. He has some more shit than Darius. He has some more teams than Darius. But like Warwick is kind of just there. Like he's annoying. I don't like fighting Warwick very much, but like he's kind of just there. He's not egregious, but he's not fun to fight either. So he's kind of just there. Caitlyn didn't fucking change. Still the same as last patch. Still really strong. Still pretty partner dependent. But if you take the time to learn the character, she can be strong. Um, Akali. I think Akali is borderline B tier. And she's definitely the worst character in this A rank tier. And my reasoning is that Akali Oki is bad, and I mean that in every fashion of the word. That Oki is bad. Smoke Oki is not good. It's nothing but tech chases, and literally you can react to the command grab. The things I have to hit you, like by herself, is strike throw and a reactable command grab and kunai. She needs very specific teammates for her to really work. So it's she's kind of just not good unless you're running her with Ahri. I think Ahri is her best partner by far. And the second you match her with any other character that's not named Ahri, she becomes a B tier character, a borderline B tier character. But I'm not gonna put her because I do think she's better than Blitzcrank as a character, and I do think she can provide some things with how fast she is and her aerial movement. And Kunai, I think the character is strong, but I think the character has glaring weaknesses. I think she's the worst character in A tier right now. You can call it downplay if you want to, but I think she's the worst character in A. Then we have Senna. I think Senna's really strong. And I think the more you give time for Senna players to really iron out Wraith form, the stronger this character is. I could definitely see this character going up to here. Like here. I don't see her ever being better than Echo, but I could definitely see her being better than Kate Vi type area. I can see her definitely being really strong. But for right now, she's just a good character. I mean, they just added her to the game. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And then the final character, top one. Yay, this character's fucking broken. I'm not explaining why. This character's fucking broken. If you don't know why Thresh is broken, you lost. You lost or you're a down player. Which either way, you're delusional. So gives her screenshots while you can. Get your screenshots while you can. And we are going to be moving on to our final topic of the day, which is going to be pretty short. So the last topic we are going to be talking about today is going to be OWCS. And the first thing I want to do is kind of recap the mid-season playoffs because a lot of shit happened and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I love Overwatch. I love Overwatch competitive. I think it's fun. I've been playing Overwatch since 2016, since the betas of Overwatch 1. I pop in off and on now just because I am not a fan of 5v5 as a competitive format, me playing the game as a DPS player. But I've been slowly getting back into the game with season 2 because Mizuki is super fun and I love watching Mizuki. I'm having a lot of fun playing Mei. I'm having a lot of fun playing Echo Genji. Once they rework Sombra, hopefully next season, wink wink, hopefully next season, wink wink, please rework my favorite hero in the game so I can play her again and she doesn't have to be dog shit and you don't have to continue to nerf her every 2 months. That's enough complaining on my part. Let's talk about OWCS. Let's quickly recap EMEA, NA, and Korea because I wasn't able to watch. I was actually able to watch those live. I wasn't able to watch Japan or China play. I wasn't able to watch those or Oceania, I think it's called, I believe. But I wasn't able to watch that. So we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna recap these real quick, starting off with EMEA. And as y'all probably already know, or if y'all don't know, the teams we had that actually made the playoffs were Virtus Pro, Twisted Minds, Kad I'm gonna butcher this fucking pronunciation. I am sorry. Al Alcatia? Alcatia? I don't really know. Uh AQ. We're just gonna call him COD. We're just gonna call him COD. Virtus Pro, COD, Twisted Minds, and Geek Esports. Virtus Pro ended up taking the entire bracket 4-3 over Geek after winning their matches versus uh Quad and also beating Geek in winners bracket finals, getting into grand finals. And Geek Esports ended up taking out Twisted Minds in the lower end of the bracket 3-0. Um, but our qualifiers, our teams that qualified for EWCS Midseason Clash out of the midseason playoffs are going to be Twisted Minds, Geek Esports, and Virtus Pro. That is our recap for EMEA. Going back to NA, the teams that qualified are Team Liquid, Dallas Fuel, and SSG Gaming. Those are our three teams that are going to be representing NA in the midseason clash. Um, Recapping the weekend, we have Dallas Fuel versus Team Liquid. Dallas Fuel beat Team Liquid 3-1. It's been a minute since I watched the matches, but you know what? Yeah. Dallas Fuel beat Team Liquid 3-1, and then SSG beat Dallas Fuel. Dallas Fuel looks like the best team in NA, but I'm gonna be real. Am I crazy for still believing in SSG? Like I think Hawk, I think Lethal is still really good. I think Sugar Free. And honestly, if you're just asking me to take a support back line out of NA, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, gang. Luke Mino, nice. Luke Mino, nice. I understand that. But Admiral and Ultraviolet, I think, are the best support duo in NA. So I I still believe in SSG. I don't take these losses to Dallas Fuel as like I think they were just better on the day. I still believe in SSG, and that might spoil my EWC predictions, but it's okay. I like getting ahead of myself. Then going on to the Korean side of the bracket, our three teams that qualified are going to be, I believe, T1, Zeta, and Crazy Raccoon. Just recapping real quick. T1 beat Rose. Uh, T1 beat Rose Zanside Gaming 3-0. Uh, Zeta beat Zeta beat Crazy Raccoon 4-2. Zeta just looks like the best team in Korea. They just do. I would never count Crazy Raccoon out. Not when they have Lip and Stalker on their roster, as well as Vigilante and Junbin. But Zeta has IMO, the best support backline in the tournament in Shu and Violet, and Proper, the best DPS player I have ever seen play the video game with my two eyes. I've never seen the player play DPS at a higher level and better than Proper. So that is our weekend wrap up of our playoff bracket to go into and talk about. Just gonna preview the bracket for OWCS. So our upper bracket matches for Group A, we're gonna have Virtus Pro versus 9ZG. Oh, this is how you know this shit ain't scripted. I'm pretty sure this is one of the teams that qualified versus via Face It League. I think this is one of the teams that qualified via Face It League. So yeah, so we got Virtus Pro versus 9ZG, T1 versus Twisted Minds. That is gonna be a phenomenal match. I kind of want to wake up early just to watch that match because that match looks fucking crazy. Then we got Weibo Gaming and Twisted Team Liquid. That's gonna be a match. And my personal favorite match out of Group A, upper bracket, is Dallas Fuel versus Team Falcons. That match is going to be a fucking movie chat. Then we go ahead to the upper bracket of Group B. We have Crazy Raccoon versus TS, SSG versus JDG, GK Esports versus AGAL, Inzeta versus Beryl. Um, a bunch of solid matches, but this Group A bracket, this a death pool. I'm not gonna lie. I can see a lot of teams beating a lot of teams. I'm not gonna lie, especially these three games. I expect Virtus Pro to put belt ass on 9ZG. But team T1 TM, that could go either way. Whenever Twisted Minds get in these big tournament situations, they always find a way to make the most of it. So I could definitely see them winning, but I think T1 has been playing really, really well. So we gonna see. Weibo Gaming and Team Liquid, that could go either way. Dallas Fuel versus Team Falcons. I'm taking Dallas Fuel, but if Team Liquid won, they're still a very solid team. They're still a very solid team. Now, before I go into my predictions, my actual predictions, I want to talk about something, and that's the map pool. So, I typed this on Twitter when I first saw this, but let me zoom in on this tweet. This is the map pool for OWCS Midseason Clash. This is by far the worst map pool I think I have ever seen in my life. For escort for control maps, we have Busan, Nepal, and Samoa. I actually like that those control maps. I'm not gonna lie. I like Busan. I'm a fan of Nepal. I know a lot of people don't like Nepal, but I'm a fan of Nepal. Call that Overwatch 1 bias, but I'm a fan of Nepal. And Samoa, I actually think Samoa is probably the best design in terms of like map geometry and each side having a fair rotation, 2 points and things like that. I think Samoa is probably the best design control map we have in the game. So I actually like the control pool. We're gonna go to push Coliseo, Esperanza. We don't really have other options. Flashpoint, Savasa, Atlantis, New Junk City. We don't have other options. I want to talk about these hybrid and escort maps. Escort, Junkertown, Route 66, and Shambali fucking Monastery. Who in their goddamn mind thought, bro, like what? What? Who made this? Who made this? This is terrible. Like, this is terrible. Like, we're just gonna see a whole bunch of Sigma. Like, that's all we're gonna see is Sigma. There's no variation. And the reason why I think this is so bad is because all these maps have super long sight lines and not a lot of high ground. So maybe Route 66 is like the only other map where we might see something else. But we're just gonna be seeing Sig. We're just gonna be seeing a bunch of Sig, Juno, Kiri, Sig that like we're just going to be seeing a whole lot of the same comps, and I don't want that. I like comp variety. I like having maps that allow teams to bring their own flexibility. So let's see, but I think the map pool is absolutely atrocious. And should the map pool be better? Yes, the map pool should be better. I feel like, me personally, you might call this bias, and I don't really give a fuck. I think Kings Row should be a mainstay. I think Kings Row and Neon Junction should have been in this map pool. Oh, I didn't talk about the hybrids. Hybrids. We have Eichenwald, Pariso, and Neon Junction. I never want to see Pariso. If I never saw Pariso on my screen playing, it would be too soon. I actually think this is the worst map in the game. On no bullshit. I think this is the worst map in the game. I think it's boring to look at, it's boring to play on, it's probably gonna be boring to watch. But I'm excited to watch it nonetheless, and we are going to be here watching it. Again, I don't know how early I'm going to be waking up, but I will try my best to watch as many matches as I can before I am absolutely fucking exhausted and can't stay up any longer. Because these matches do start at 3 a.m. my time, and that's fucking crazy. Um, Then we have Eichenwald. A lot of people don't like Eichenwald, but like I'm fine with it. And then Neon Junction, new map. I'm glad it's there. I actually really like Neon Junction because we've seen a whole lot of creative maps. We've seen Diva be played there. We've seen Ram played there. We've seen Rhine comps. We've been played there. We've seen some on. We've seen a whole lot of things. So hybrid map pool, but that escort map pool, uh yeah, we gotta figure something else out. We gotta figure something else out. I don't know if I'm gonna go and see. Let's actually pick out some maps. Let's see. Escort. Which would I rather see? Which would I? Damn, there are not a lot of good. There are not a lot of good uh alternatives. Shit. Rialto would have been fun. Watch Point would have been fun. I would have loved to see Watch Point. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Have we seen Watch Point Gibraltar since they did the map rework? Have we seen it? I don't think so. I'd have to double go back and double check that. But I would love personally Watch Point or Rialto would have been, you could replace Junkertown or Shimbali with that shit. Either one probably would have been better to make the map pool better, but I digress. We're gonna get what we get from it. Now back to my predictions, my actual predictions for how I think OWCS, at least until we get to kind of the championship rounds. I'm gonna just tell you who I think is gonna make it out of Group A, who I think is gonna make it out of Group B on the upper and lower brackets. So let's go back and let's look at the bracket pools here. So as you can see, we have Virtus Pro versus 9ZG and T1 versus Twisted Minds. I have Virtus Pro beating 9ZG. I don't necessarily think that's going to be close, but hopefully it is because I like good matches of Overwatch. Then we have Twisted Minds versus T1. This match I expect to be a bloodbath, but I do expect Twisted Minds to come out of that with the win. I expect T1 to be sent down into losers. Um, so leaving that, we have Virtus Pro versus TM. I have Virtus Pro taking that match. Um, TM has not looked like they have been able to beat T1 so far this patch and this cycle of meta. During this meta, VP has looked like the strongest, and I think they're going to continue to do that. So I think Virtus Pro is going to make it out of the upper side bracket and send TM down into the lower bracket. Then for the next set, we have Weibo Gaming versus Team Liquid. I expect Weibo Gaming to win that. And then we have Dallas Fuel versus Team Falcons. I expect Dallas Fuel to win that match. And then, so with that, we have Weibo Gaming versus Dallas Fuel, and I expect Dallas Fuel to get out of that match with winnings. So for that would be for my upper bracket. I have Dallas Fuel and Virtus Pro. Going down to the lower end, I have T1 making it out of the lower end of the bracket. And I have Twisted Minds rather, making it out in the lower end of the bracket, as well as Team Falcons. Next with the Group B, upper bracket, Crazy Raccoon versus TS in SSG versus JDG. I expect Crazy Raccoon to win. I expect SSG to win. And I expect Crazy Raccoon to send SSG down into the lower side of the bracket and come out as the number one seed in the upper bracket, sending SSG down to the losers. Then we have GK versus AGL. Then we have Zeta versus Varel. I expect Zeta sweep. I expect GK to go to AGL. I expect Zeta to beat Varel, and I expect Zeta to beat GK Gaming. Now the lower bracket is going to be interesting because, like I said, I think we're gonna have a bloodbath between SSG, GK, and Varel. And honestly, me personally, I have SSG and Zeta coming out. I don't. I think SSG. I think SSG Gaming is gonna meet GK, and whoop up on that butt. Whoop up on that butt. Show them that American BTA. You get what I'm saying? That that NA magic. You get what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, I expect players like Ultraviolet to play their best. I expect players like Hawk to be the differential, Lethal to go crazy, Lethal and Sugar Free to go crazy. I'm just super excited. But with that being said, that's gonna do it for today's episode of Bracket Watch. I appreciate you everybody for watching on YouTube, and especially the people watching on Twitch, catching this live, twitch.tv/SureRBJ. Link is going to be in the description, and link is going to be in the pinned comment. Come say hi, come talk, come share your opinions, come debate, come do all that. We trying to build a good community of people. Talk about our favorite games. Y'all enjoy the discussion, or y'all just want to chime in, feel free to leave a comment if you so will. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to stick around and get let known about when I'm going to be uploading, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching these clips on TikTok, stop by the stream. Let us see you. With that being said, I am out of here. I appreciate y'all for watching yet again. Doses.